Okay, so today we're going to talk about hypernatremia. So this is an issue where the body has an excess amount of sodium in it, greater than a level of 145. It can cause serious issues, specifically like neurologic, endocrine, cardiac disturbances. Um, Typically, it has so many causes, but um, it can be related to like kidney failure, or if someone has Cushing syndrome, aldosteronism, or they have used glucose corticosteroids for an excessive amount of time, or if they have to take any type of an oral sodium supplement. Um, it can also happen to like people that are on MPO status or that suffer from diabetes insipidus, anyone that's had like a heat stroke or that suffers from like a disorder that causes excessive sweating, or say somebody that's had burns. So that can also cause it. Typically, someone would exhibit extreme thirst. They could have issues with their thermal regulation and have hypothermia symptoms, tachycardia, orthostatic hypotension, restlessness, irritability. It can even cause like muscle weakness and muscle twitching. Um, it can also mess with like your respiratory system and cause respiratory compromise, or like impaired gas exchange. You can have a decrease or even absent deep tendon reflexes. So really, primarily, it causes a lot of issues with like your neurological and muscular system. And it can even lead to seizures and death if it's gone untreated. And then, so sometimes the body will attempt to kind of signal us that something's wrong and that we need something to fix an issue that's going on internally. And so, when it comes to hyponatremia or hypernatremia, I apologize, the body will signal us with extreme thirst. And the reason this happens is so that if we take in more fluids, it's the body's attempt to allow like the kidneys to excrete the excess sodium in the body. And so that's why whenever we treat this, we do encourage like excess or water intake, and we restrict the sodium at the same time in hopes to allow for the body to actually like excrete that excess sodium. For people that have poor kidney function, we would have to administer some type of a diuretic, typically a loop diuretic, to help that excretion. And then as far as like people that have a chronic issue with their sodium being high and holding on to that sodium, we would generally probably put them on a diuretic, and then we would allow for like counseling for nutrition so that they can see different foods that are low in sodium that maybe they would like, and like hopefully like adhere better to a diet plan in the long term to help with their condition. We would also want to do like daily weights to make sure there's not a lot of holding on to fluid, because typically people that have high sodium also have an issue with fluid retention. Um, and then we would also want to teach about like the importance of reading food labels. And even like some over the counter medications can include sodium in them. So they would need to read those as well. Um, and then as far as like teaching goes too, we really want to like let the patient know like certain foods that are really high in sodium and like what they should avoid. I know like pickles and anything smoked, or just in general in the grocery store, like anything that's a snack food that's easily accessible, like that's going to be full sodium. I know like it's recommended that you shop on the outer parts of the grocery store, and that's supposed to be like the healthier part, but everything in the middle of the grocery store is supposed to be really high in sodium and bad for like heart health. But yeah, so that is hypernatremia.